Welcome to the first set of anatomy notes. So we're going to be looking at anatomical regions, directions, and body cavities today. Please be sure that if you need extra time that you just pause the video, fill in the blanks, fill in the labels as much as you want, or again, I have uploaded the slides to Google Classroom so you can view all of it there. So when we're talking about anatomy and physiology, anatomy is actually the study of the structures, so the actual parts and how they relate to each other. So you can have what's called gross or macroscopic, which is the big things, the things that you can easily see. So like if we open up a body, you can see the liver, you can see the stomach, you can see the ribs, that sort of thing. Microscopic, obviously you have to use a microscope to view those. And the developmental anatomy is what you would see as a baby grows and develops into an adult. Now, physiology is the study of how those parts work. So the function of each of those parts. So that's the difference. Anatomy is the actual structure, so the parts, and the physiology is how those parts work. So when we're talking about correct body position in anatomy, that is called anatomical position. So there are four main parts. The body is erect, so that means it's standing up, or if you're doing an autopsy, it's laying flat on a table. The feet are slightly apart. The palms are facing forward, which is not the normal way you would stand, because if you normally just stand up, your palms face backward. So in anatomical position, you are turning your palms forward and the thumbs point away from the body. So at the beginning, you're going to be learning all these different terms. So it's really important that as you do them, we're going to practice them in class. We're going to do some gummy bear dissection. We're going to do other activities to help you learn all these parts. But it's also important that you write them all down. So superior means toward the head. And then inferior means away from the head. So if you're looking at the notes here, okay, the first thing listed, superior, goes with the first word listed. So it's saying superior is toward the head, okay? Inferior goes with the second part, away from the head. That's why it says respectively, okay? Anterior is toward the front, so it's the front surface of your body, and posterior is the back of the body. So all of these terms are going to go in that way. Medial is toward the midline. So if you were to cut yourself in half down the center, okay, so like going down your head, halfway through your nose, just down your center, that's medial. And that's midline. Your midline is that center part. Away from the midline would be in between your middle and the outside. And then intermediate, you just have to see the picture, I'll be honest. Proximal and distal. These are ones that confuse people a lot. Proximal means closer to. So my eyes are proximal to my nose. So they're closer to my nose. Then they are distal. My eyes are distal to my toes. Okay, farther away from. Superficial means on the body surface, and deep means away the body from the body surface. So if something is superficial, it's toward the outside, and if it's deep, it's toward the inside. Now, all of these have actual pictures and directions for you in the notes so that you can get to understand them better. They're all in here for you. And we will be, again, going over all of these in class, doing activities with them. Axial, your axial part of your body is your head, your neck, and your trunk. Your trunk is this part right here, okay? So it's not your arms, but it's this portion of your body. Appendicular are your appendages or limbs. So if it's not in the core of your body, the axial part, then it's appendicular. So your arms and your legs. And then there's other specific regional terminology. So if you look here, brachial is part of your arm. Again, this is something that you're going to be identifying on some of those diagrams. There are other terms for the backside. So here they are for you as well. Again, you're going to be labeling this on your diagrams. So body planes, you can divide the body in several different ways. The easiest way to look at this is to actually see the pictures. So that's what this next one is for. And also, in addition to that, you're probably going to want to color the planes. So I'll be showing you in class how I've colored my planes. But like this is the frontal plane, and it's this one that runs right here. I'm tracing it, okay? So it's easier to see if you color it in. Okay, that's the frontal. So it's cutting your front side from your back side. Transverse cuts the person in half at basically the waist. And then the median or mid-sagittal cuts them straight down the middle. Okay. Now, anatomically, humans, you'll vary very slightly from one person to the next. About 90% of your anatomical parts will match textbook descriptions, okay? But some of your nerves and blood vessels won't be in the right place or in the exact place that you see in a diagram. If you've ever given blood or watched anybody give blood, you'll know that your veins are not all in the same place, and sometimes they have to dig around for them. You may be missing some muscles, you may have some extra muscles, but you're not going to have any extreme variations. Those are very rare. So like having your organs transposed where your heart is on the right side of your body instead of the left side of your body, and all of your organs are basically flipped. That's very, very rare. So here is a drawing of the body cavities. Again, the cranial cavity contains the brain. Your dorsal cavity is everything in this portion, okay? So it includes all of those. The ventral cavity is what contains your spinal cord. So the dorsal is your cranial and your ventral cavity together. Thoracic is your chest cavity, so it has your heart and lungs. It's separated from the abdominal cavity by the diaphragm. And then the pelvic cavity is where you have your bladder, your reproductive organs, and your rectum. And again, I just went over that, but here it is all written out for you. Here's another view of them just from the front. So your thoracic cavity has separate cavities. It has the pleural, which has lungs, the mediastinum, which has your heart, and then the pericardial is what encloses the heart. The abdominal, again, is where your stomach, your intestines, spleen, liver, and other organs are, and then your pelvic cavity is your bladder, reproductive organs, and rectum. Inside your ventral body cavities, you have the parietal serosa, which lines the internal body walls. You have the visceral serosa, which covers the internal organs. And then you have the serous fluid that all of the organs sit in. Sorry. All right, sorry for that. Coach Wallen walked in while I was recording, so let me go back. Maybe. Maybe not. It does not want to let me. There we go. So there are other body cavities. All of these are pretty easy to understand, like the middle ear contains the parts of the ear. Synovial is your joint cavities. Again, you're just going to fill these in into your notes, and we're going to go over them specifically in class. You can also divide your abdominal pelvic region, that's combining your abdomen and your pelvic regions together, into 9 separate regions. Again, you're going to label these on your diagrams. And then I'm giving you what organs are found in the different little regions. And then you can also divide it just into 4 places. So sometimes if you go to the doctor, they're going to say that you have pain in your lower right quadrant. This is what they're talking about. If you have pain in your lower right quadrant, their first thing that they're going to look at is your appendix, this little dangly thing right here. They're going to look to see if you have appendicitis. All right, so if you need to pause these at any time, you probably will because I talk fast and you've got to fill in the diagrams and the notes. You have all of this week to get these filled in, but they do need to be filled in by next Monday. If you have any questions, be sure to ask during class. Have a great day.